Well, it's 2024. Is this the year that the CYRUS prophecy may be fulfilled? And what about Mr. D sending some new dudes to the border of Tex of the is, if you know what I'm saying? And what about the new brain of the chip that has been put in the first human being? Can you believe this? And looks like they're going to push through this epic treatise that could redefine and will redefine your life if they're allowed to do it in May of this year. And whatever happened to this dude? It was all the rage a couple years ago. Where is he now? What's going on? And, supposedly this little line here, the X marks the spot, is going to be traveling through the very same place that the red heifers came out of. Also, many cities named Antioch, about 6, happens to go through. That's kind of intriguing, not to mention what's going on at the border over there as well. And will they be going where no non-binary entity has ever gone before? Is that what they're intending to do here with this? And 2424 just happens to be the name of Jesus in the Bible. Is there any connection with this? And then we've got the prime of the minister who is saying, yes, you will indeed be taking that poison because it's completely safe. So come on, baby, take it. And the population is supposed to be dropping this year. Gee, any particular reason why that might happen? And our lemons turning to dust. All this and more we will be exploring. And whatever questions you have, whatever topics are on your mind tonight, these are just to wet your whistle, just to kind of get you thinking in the general direction of what's happening in the world. We're also opening it up to Bible questions. So if you have any Bible questions, anything on your mind you want to ask about the Bible, then you can add that in as well. So in case you don't have a topic handy, but maybe you have a Bible question, we'd love to hear that as well. So we're going to kick things off here. We're in the fellowship, by the way, at McKayoMinistries.com. We do hope you'll join us there. And do hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell so others can find out about this as well. But you can join us over there live and talk with us and ask questions directly. You can also type them in there directly at McKayoMinistries.com in the fellowship. You can do it also on YouTube, although, we obviously will be responding first to the people here in the fellowship because they're right here with us, talking to us, but we will try to get your YouTube questions in as well. So if you do want to get that direct, come on over, and we're happy to talk to you here today on Sunday Night Live. Woo-hoo-hoo! Sunday Night Live. All right. Amen. So cool, guys. So it's good to be together, and wanted to see what's on everybody's mind tonight. So let me just kind of head over to the fellowship here. And so we've got some people with us tonight. If you want to come over and join us over there and ask questions, we'd love to hear you. And can everybody hear me here in the fellowship? Can you hear me okay? I'm not hearing you too well. Oh, I guess I got to turn up my volume. Can you hear me there?
We can hear you.
Woohoo! All right. Good news. Good news. So, guys, what's on your mind tonight? What do you want to talk about first? There's so much happening in the world. There's no end to the fun. So, what do you want to explore? Were Adam and Eve ever babies? That's a great question. Not that we know of. It does seem that they were formed as full adult human beings because of the fact they didn't have any parents to really look after them. Although technically, I suppose God could have raised them, I suppose. But from what we understand, they created them male and female, and then he made the man from the dust. It doesn't ever say baby or kid or child or anything like that. So it does appear that he was a fully formed man at that point, which makes the most sense, because how is he going to put him in charge of everything of the garden if he's just a baby running around? Wouldn't be quite as practical there. So, and then of course Eve was taken from Adam, from his rib, and then made into a woman as well to complement him and be a partner for him, because it was not good for him to be alone. So he was alone, basically. It says not good for man to be alone. It'd be kind of hard for the baby to be all alone. So I'm pretty sure 99.9% that he was indeed a full-grown man at that point. But good question. Good question. Good way to kick off our time here. So what else are you guys thinking about here? We've got some interesting happening. You were bringing up some interesting thing about Cyrus. Maybe we can cover that. Of course, got new, fresh folks going to the Bordeaux over there. Brain links happening. Feel free to jump in. You can talk over me, actually.
It's amazing the Isaiah, what do you call that? Symbolism. Because they start with...
yeah, that was really intriguing.
Yeah, 44 is when King Cyrus makes his entrance into Babylon, under the moats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, okay, and I'll tell you the time. The Trump Meister.
Did you said Isaiah 44, right?
Yeah, Isaiah 44. And then the Trump Meister and him are put on a coin, okay? And
so let me just interject some scripture here as we're talking. So Isaiah 44:28 says, "It is I who says of Cyrus." Now again, please don't say the name of Mr. T, and let's just use code words and names and everything if we can. So it is I who says of Cyrus, "He is my shepherd, and he will perform all my desire." And he declares of Jerusalem, "She will be built, and of the temple, your foundation will be laid." So kind of intriguing when you tie it to Mr. T, who, of course, moved the embassy back to Jerusalem. So he declared Jerusalem, she will be built. That's kind of interesting tie-in there. And called Cyrus his shepherd, which is interesting because Cyrus wasn't necessarily a Christian or Jew, God-fearing man that we know of, but God used him in that way to be a shepherd for his people and ultimately kind of help restore them, when it came after the time of captivity with Nebuchadnezzar. And they were restored back to the land. So, wow, very, very compelling. So, please continue.
And he was the 44th president at the time. Okay.
Right. Okay. So, 4:5. You mean 4:5?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
4:5.
4:5.
So this is the last verse of 4:4, which is kind of interesting because it's kind of like right on the cusp of the new, of getting into office. So it's the last verse there that he appears in Isaiah. First time at least in this chapter, that he appears. And then if we go to the next chapter, then we get 4:5, Isaiah 4:5, and then we've got Cyrus's whole thing there. So it's almost like you had his election there at the very end of 44, and he moves in at 45. So that's pretty cool. Continue.
Yeah. And then Isaiah 46, I think the number. He's missing from the book now. Now King Cyrus, he's not in that book at all, and neither was Trump.
T.
Missing in the
Mr. T.
next election after that. Okay.
T-Rex.
Number 40. And then, what?
Mr. T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they said.
I know they don't like it for whatever reason. So.
46 represents the empty vessel in Hebrew. The number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now let me just back it up for a second. Okay. So Isaiah 45. Let's just take a look at the times they talk about Cyrus here. So it says God uses Cyrus. You guys are all seeing this, right? So God uses Cyrus. Thus says the Lord to Cyrus, his anointed. So first he's his shepherd. Now he's his anointed. He says, whom I have taken by the right hand to subdue nations before him and to loose the loins of kings, to open doors before him so that gates will not be shut. So you got to think how incredible it is that a president of the dent number would actually line up with a chapter in the Bible that just happens to tie into the Cyrus connection, which we know they share the coin together that we looked at there at the very beginning. They're both on this coin that famously portrays Cyrus and Mr. T together. So that is kind of compelling in and of itself. Okay, going back over here.
It only gets better.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hold on. Let me read this. To subdue nations before him and to loose the king's loins of the king, to open the doors before him so the gates will not be shut. Wow, to open the doors so the gates will not be shut. We know that the gates are going to be open there in Jerusalem. The eastern gate will be open for the Messiah when he returns. So that's kind of exciting to think about. And I'll give you the treasures of darkness, the hidden wealth of secret places, so that you may know that it is I, the Lord, the God of Israel, who calls you by your name. Wow, this is really kind of intriguing stuff here. For the sake of Jacob, my servant, Israel, my chosen one, I've also called you by your name. I've given you a title of honor, though you have not known me. I am the Lord, there is no other. Besides me, there is no God. That men may know the rising sun, the one forming light. Okay, let me skip down to the next Cyrus mention here. Oh, I guess those were the two Cyruses. So basically, this whole chapter is basically kind of explaining how Cyrus will be the man. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Okay, so then 47 is a number of redemption. In God's number of redemption.
Okay, so let me just 46, just to clarify, so he does not appear in 46 at all. And as we know, the current dude who's there is number 46. And it talks about Babylon's idols versus the true God. That's kind of appropriate too. Okay, and then
46 means an empty vessel. Something like that. That's the empty vessel.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's something we can maybe take a look at here over in when we get over there. We'll take a look at 46. But let's go ahead and finish this now. So 47, he comes back in 47.
That he will be the 47th president if he comes.
Oh, right. Of course.
Yeah, and the number 47 with God, vengeance is taken. That's what that means.
Yeah, 47 is a very significant number with God as well. Of course, 4 is the door. It also relates to Christ. 7 is the divine number. But 47, I recall being important. I know 74 and 47. I know 73 and 37 are also very important. Okay, that's very intriguing. And we got the 40 days plus a week, which Moses went up on the mountain for 7 days and then 40 more days, it seems, there on Mount Sinai. So that's also intriguing. Okay, continue.
Okay.
Did you have anything else you want to share on that?
That's as far as I got with that.
Well, that's very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. And they talk about it being a lament for Babylon. So if we're thinking X marks the spot here, and we've got April 8th, everything's going down, that would be kind of intriguing if we're lamenting at that point. Wow. That's really what we're going through at that stage. Wow, that's kind of interesting, thinking about Mystery Babylon, the tie-in with America. I know it did a video here on this channel called The Fourth Part of the World. Check that out, about the fourth seal and America being in the Bible, the possibility of it. And so kind of interesting that Lament of Babylon ties in with the number of the 47th Pres, which what we would have if we get through this election here. So that's very interesting too. Yeah, very fascinating. Okay, cool. Thanks for bringing that up. Very cool.
Far out.
Okay. Other thoughts or other questions or comments? Now I'm trying to look in every place here, but if someone could kind of scan the comments here in Discord and then also in YouTube, so that I can keep doing what I'm doing on the screen, that would be really helpful. And then I can try to address any of those. So if you find some cool questions there, then bring them up. Okay. So
I didn't necessarily find questions, but
okay.
The Sunday Night Live topics, I just sent a couple pictures because when you were showing the coins a couple weeks ago when I was sick, I was looking up the denarius and I was looking up another coin.
Did you send the pictures? Where did you send them?
To the.
Oh, okay. Can you put them here? Can you put them in this room in the chat? Yeah, that would be best, because otherwise I'll have to leave and I might never make it back. All right, let me keep going while you're doing that. Let's look at the next thing here. Okay, so we kind of got that one. Now, someone's asking in the YouTube comments, they're asking about the treaty of 2024. That's kind of an important one. So let's take a look at that for a second here. So basically, this is on the official W to the E to the F website, okay? And they are pushing this treaty to go through by May of this year. So we've got the X marks the spot happening April 8th, which is also the first day of Nisan, the first month of the Jewish calendar, which we also know is 10 days before we take the lamb, Nisan 10, which could tie into us being the lamb that gets taken. And then we have the tie into, of course, Passover coming up as well. So let me just show you this here. So May. So this was last year, okay? This was last year that they posted this, of May 26th of this past year. And it says here, it says negotiations on new rules for dealing with the scam of the dem of the X are underway at the W to the H to the O with a target date of May 2024. Now, if you guys can see that, let me make that a little bit bigger there. So May 24 for a legally binding agreement to be adopted by the UN. Legally binding agreement by the U to the N health of the agency's 194 member countries. Now, why do you suppose they make it legally binding? Probably because once they realize what they signed, they're not going to want to follow through on it. And probably because they don't, they want to be able to have recourse, if people try to resist. So they're making it legally binding. Wow. And a new pact is a priority. Let's see, generational commitment, the so-called, what is this treaty? The W to the H to the O already has binding rules known as the Inter of the National of the Health of the Regu of the Nations, which in 2005 set out countries' obligations where public to the health events have the potential to cross borders. These include advising the W to the H to the O immediately of any emergency and measures on trade and travel. Okay, so they've already adopted that. They adopted that after the SARS outbreak and the Ebola outbreak. And so they're being reviewed and renewed. So basically, they're going to set standards down that, out of this dark winter, you're not going to be traveling for those summer vacations without, them forcing you, probably, I would guess, to take the bug, to take the poison. So something of that nature. I don't exactly know more here, but that's basically what they're saying, that it's something that's going to be controlling your travel and your trade. So you cannot buy or sell without it. Isn't that nice? Can't buy or sell. Trade and travel. Trade is buying and selling, right? It says it right there. Can you believe that? Trade and travel. Do you see that? Let me show you that one more time. Where was that? Oh, man.
It's just to scare us.
Are you scared? Okay. These of a health emergency. Okay, here it is. Trade and travel, right? So this is Mark of the Beast. It's Mark of the Beast, trade and travel. That covers it basically. Very interesting. Hey, thank you, Brother Rick, for supporting this ministry. Thank you so much. It does help us and allow us to do this, and we have ministry every single day here in the fellowship. You just gave 20 new memberships. All right, so if you're one of the lucky, or blessed, I should say, people to receive a membership, let me just see who got one here. I see Deb, Terry, Alexander, Ketz, Michelle, Dennis, Paul. Who else is here? Caitlin, Jay Flores, John O. Forgive me, I'm having trouble reading. Water, Mama, Marmal, M. Bryson, Jacob Bryant, Steady Waters, Revelation, Matcha, Colleen, Colm, Cynthia. Forgive my pronunciation if I mispronounce anything. Wow, congratulations, guys. Thanks so much, Brother Rick, and appreciate your support of this ministry. If you would like to support this ministry, it helps us do what we do. We meet every single day, not just on Sundays here at YouTube, but every single day in the fellowship. We have different events happening. We have discipleship class tomorrow night at 7 p.m. If you'd like to actually live out your Christian faith, come on over. We'd love to help you with that. We have prayer night on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have Love One Another Fellowship on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have Thursday night Bible trivia, and we have praise night on Friday nights, and then Saturday Bible study and movie night Saturday night. And then we're back to Sunday service, and then here we are at Sunday night. So we have things going on every day, and we're helping people every day. So thank you so much. You can find the links in the description to help support this ministry. Praise the Lord. So wow. So there you go, guys. So they're looking to get this mark in place by May. How does that sound? Does that sound good to you? Do you want to? You like that? Don't think so. Okay. So what else is on your mind? What else you guys thinking about?
So what does that mean, that somebody needs to kind of be in charge in May?
Yes. Auntie of the Christ. Right. An uncle of the Christ. The false prophet. So, yeah. we're going to have a beast probably by then. So that's kind of, I mean, it's kind of cool in a way because you kind of get a marker there. Like, if they're going to implement that, if they do succeed in getting it through by May of 2024, then potentially we could have a beast in charge by that time. And that would be right following that April 8th time frame. A lot could happen there. Maybe the two witnesses come on the scene by that time over Passover time period there, or Pentecost. Pentecost would actually be even more appropriate perhaps for the two witnesses because it would mirror Peter being the one to stand up and explain everything and the tongues of fire coming down if the two witnesses came at that same time. So that might also be a perfect time for them to come around the scene as well. Wow, very cool. Other thoughts?
They could also be setting up for the ultimate letdown of people that believe that and that part of it, and it doesn't happen, just make people lose hope or faith or whatever that they didn't happen to begin with.
Okay. And what did you put here, Tandra? I'm trying to read this.
What?
Crude nutrients. I'm looking at your post here. I'm trying to get what you put there.
So and I'm sorry if I butcher this name. When Davide posted,
I think that was perfect.
Snake bite poison and a snake. Looking at the icon of the snake, I was like, how much iron is in a snake?
Interesting question. Why did you think how much iron is in a snake?
So I Googled it.
Well, why did you think how much iron is in a snake? What was the reason again?
Because if the snake bite poison, put in people and wear clay, then they're mixing iron with clay.
Oh, deep. I like that. Iron and clay. Intriguing.
Oh.
Very intriguing. And how much iron is there? Up to 23,973 milligrams were found in the body of a snake, particularly in the liver. Wow. Okay, that's wild. Don't even know what to think about that. That's a lot of iron.
And what I have heard from, I think it was Steve Quayle, that in COP27, that the AC was actually privately crowned at that event.
AC?
Yeah.
What's it?
Well, I'm realizing now your sound was off, I think. So I don't know if everybody's been hearing you too well. Continue. So say that one more time?
Can you hear me now?
I think so. Go ahead.
So what I've heard, and I believe it was from Steve Quayle, and there was a few others, that during the COP27 event, that the leaders had a private kind of coronation of some sort with this leader that's going to come.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
supposedly.
Yeah.
Supposedly they
event.
had some secret meeting with him.
Yes.
And well, we shall see. Is Chucky going to be our man of the hour? I don't know.
Well, he was transferring it to his son last time I heard.
What's that?
He was transferring it to his son last I heard.
Well, that's what they're trying to. They've been trying to get him to do that for a while, but I haven't seen anything official on that one. But I guess we'll see. Okay, so that's interesting. So let me go back over here. And what else? What else is on people's minds? Was there something else you were going to bring up there, Tandra? I thought you said you maybe had some other things you were posting. Or was it the snake?
I did post about that.
The snake?
Well, in the Neuralink thing. Which now,
okay.
like,
What did you
now I
post
have to
about
go
it?
and
Why
look
don't you
to
tell us?
see
Tell us about
the
it.
components of the Neuralink chip.
Say that again.
I want to research the components of the
Oh, I
Neuralink
see.
chip.
Okay.
Because I mean, if it's a chip, it's got to have some type of metal component in it. But I can do that in my own time too.
Okay. Well, if you find anything while we're talking here, feel free to bring it up. Okay. So Elon, what a guy. What's he up to now? So, The first human of the trials has taken place, and there's not much information on it, apparently. Information is a bit scant, but nevertheless, I guess it's been done. I don't know for what purpose or what function. Does it tell us here? It says, the aim of following person. So wait, what does the title of this say? What says think of the first human? Okay. Consciously excited. So this is just kind of a generic. I don't think they're really giving you a lot of information here, if I remember correctly. I think they're just sort of saying, yeah, it happened, but they're not really telling you. I don't know why they wouldn't tell you. Be open about it, you know? So was it successful? Was it not successful? Are they trying to hide something here? What's going on? So, does anybody else know anything about that? They want to talk about? So, supposedly it happened, but we don't know what happened. They're not really telling us exactly. And what about this guy? We haven't heard much about him in the last couple of years. Is he suddenly going to be announced? You know, supposedly Nettie was announcing the new Messiah, although it seemed like a clickbait thing. I didn't see any actual information that came out of that. So if anybody knows any information about the name, supposedly he was going to give the name of the Messiah, but wasn't able to find it in there. Okay. And here's him. This is the last public story I could find. It was from August 7th of this last year. And this is what I think his son's bar mitzvah. It says, son of the Yanukah bar mitzvah. So there he is. They call him the Yanukah, the child. He is the child. Maybe this is his son there. The chosen one. Okay, so...
Oh, I had one more thought, though, about what we were saying about COP27.
All right, CEO to the P. Okay.
Yeah, CEO, right, that one. You know, the scripture, I think it's in Isaiah where it says, I will call my son out of Egypt. Mm-hmm. You know, referring. So I know there's going to be some correlation with Egypt and this new leader. So that, you know, there's that connection.
Well, what's interesting is this eclipse coming up is actually going through Little Egypt, and as well as Memphis, like this little Egypt area where they have Memphis, and they have like a couple little Egyptian named towns there in Illinois, southern Illinois.
I gave you your segue there. There you go.
Yeah, so maybe the sun coming out of Egypt, is that us? Not that we all live in southern Illinois, but I'm just saying, you know, maybe there's something that's going to happen around that same time where we go through Little Egypt, and God is going to call us out. That would be kind of cool.
Or maybe
that's what occurred.
When he'll be public too, you know.
Could be both, right? It's kind of a same kind of deal. Like the restrainer has to be removed so that he can come on the scene. Whatever he was holding him back from 2 Thessalonians. So yeah, perhaps we're taking it that at the same time, or sudden destruction comes. Kind of interesting to consider there. Lament for Babylon of 47. Kind of an interesting thought. Any other thoughts on this eclipse that's coming up?
There was a video on YouTube about how many places along that path are called Nineveh.
Yeah. There was like 6 different, or I think it was Antioch, wasn't it? Or was it Nineveh? Was it Nineveh?
It was Nineveh.
Oh, Nineveh. Okay. Wow. Even more poetic. Nineveh. Let's take a look at that real quick. Because I still got okay, is this something I need to share? What is this? Well, yeah, actually, that is something I want to share. Let me see. Use a different one. What's this? Use that one. Okay, try this one. So Nineveh. Let's see. Eclipse. Now, of course, we know that Nineveh is the place from... You know, the sign of Jonah, right, is something that we're looking for to occur. And they're even saying there was an eclipse in ancient Nineveh when Jonah was there. So...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? So, wow. So they're talking about Nineveh. Let me see if I can get this thing closer. Make this bigger. It's not getting any bigger. Okay. But Nineveh is where Jonah went. Jonah didn't want to go there, but he went there. He got swallowed by the big fish, and he gets spits out in Nineveh. And he says, in 40 days, God's going to bring destruction. It was a 3-day journey through Nineveh for him to preach that word. And they all repented, much to Jonah's sadness, chagrin. But God was happy, of course, and that they repented, and Jonah just needed to change his attitude. But a little attitude adjustment for Jonah there. But Jonah, but now they're saying there was an eclipse at the same time, which would be really intriguing because Jesus said no other sign will be given other than the sign of Jonah. And so if there was an eclipse during that time, and then this eclipse that's coming actually goes through Nineveh, 6 towns of Nineveh, if that's correct, that could be a sign of Jonah right there. That's pretty significant. So let me just see if I guess I misspelled Nineveh there. So let's see if we can. Let's see what we find here. I don't know if we're gonna find it or not, but apparently, Eclipse 2024. So it comes up. Nineveh is in the path of totality for the total eclipse of 2024. Total eclipse of 24. Observers, there will be approximately 3 minutes and 59.9 seconds. So, no way. That's awesome, too. So, that's like 4 minutes of totality of this eclipse. Are you guys seeing this? Are you getting this? Is this coming in clear?
Yeah. Hey,
4 minutes. You see that, right? 4 minutes. Jesus is 4. Okay, 4 is the door. 4 is the Christ. And so there will be 4 minutes of totality of this eclipse. It's going through Nineveh, which is arguably a sign of Jonah, which Jesus said no other sign will be given but the sign of Jonah. Get your eclipse glasses here. Wow, that's kind of cool, isn't it? That's sort of a sock moment. I think we might need. Do we got a sock moment thing? Andy? Oh yeah, that sounds like a sock moment. Somebody's sock moment in there. Let's see if I have a. I don't know if I have a sock moment ready here, but take your socks and throw them around, would you? Oh wait, let's see. Is this a sock moment? Oh wait, I think I got a sock moment here. Let's see if I can bring it up. Sock moment time. So amen, guys. That's kind of cool.
Hey, can you hear me?
Can
you hear me?
I can hear you, Ariana.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So the convoy that's happening is also going along the ecliptic path.
Okay, sorry. Say that one more time because our sock moment, I think, was overshadowing you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. God's army convoy is also traveling along the ecliptic path, which I find very interesting.
Oh, right. Right.
That is
Yeah, the convoy. Yeah. Right.
10-4, good buddy.
10-4, good buddy. That's right. We got a convoy.
I guess my question too, because we know that Jonah was swallowed by, a lot of people say whale, some people say an ancient old fish that looks more similar to a serpent. But is that kind of like the 3 days of darkness after that? Question mark.
So, okay, let me address one thing at a time. So first we got this convoy that's happening, and you're suggesting that it's going through the same eclipse path. Kind of similar. I mean, they're going from that upper north region down to Texas, so it kind of same start and ending destination. It's kind of what we're saying, right? They have to take kind of a different path, I think, than direct, but I guess sort of they could come across here too. So I guess it is kind of the same as that. Wow, that's pretty cool. So I guess the one I saw was they going down to Florida first, but I guess you could come across this way as well. I'm sure people were doing that too. Yeah. So that's interesting. Am I on the right channel here? What it's called, the Great American Convoy, right? Is that what it's called?
I think it's called God's Army Convoy.
Oh, God's Army. Okay, let me see. I put American Convoy. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, it's called God's Army.
God's
Wes put it, or
Army.
Ariana put it in the chat.
Oh, she did. She is so good at that. So let's see. God's Army protests. Let's see what this. So this shows. Show us anything? Probably a picture right there. All right. Go away. Okay, let's. You're harassing me here. Okay, let's go over here to your picture. You got a picture of the path there?
I can look for one. I just found an article that I posted.
You know what? I'll do it. I'll do it right here.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. So, God's Army Convoy images. Let's see. Path. Yeah, if you happen to find one that shows the path aligning, that would be great. Because nothing's coming up right now. So that would be awesome. But that's kind of cool. And that's happening currently, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is it just sort of like an ongoing thing, or is it just sort of a...
Well, it sounds like they're holding rallies along the way.
Along the way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They hold a rally in Dripping Springs. Yeah, because the path I had seen is that they come down to Florida and go across.
Yeah, I think I saw the same thing.
But it does seem like they kind of start and end in the same vicinity there. So that is kind of an interesting tie-in with that. Cool. Other thoughts on that, or any other topics you want to explore?
Davide posted Jonah 3:4, where it says, on the day Jonah entered the city, he shouted to the crowds, 40 days from now Nineveh will be destroyed. And then he asked, does America have 40 days?
Yeah, that's the question. I was just going to ask, is this ECLIPSE going to have 40-day warning for something coming May 28th?
Right. Let's look at Jonah there. Okay, Jonah 3,
So would that be
4.
when they sign the treaty? I wonder if it's 40 days from the eclipse when they
says Jonah 3:4. Jonah began by going a day's journey into the city, proclaiming 40 more days. Now back it up. It says Jonah obeyed the word of the Lord and went to Nineveh. Now Nineveh was a very large city. It took 3 days to go through it. So that could be a hint. 3 days of darkness, perhaps. Jonah began by going a day's journey into the city, proclaiming 40 more days, and Nineveh will be overthrown. So it's going through 6 cities of Nineveh, 666, and of course, none of this, this is by the hand of God, right? Because this is nothing that the unless it's an eclipse of a fake sun, which is, I suppose, could be possible. But unless the whole thing is fake. But otherwise, if this is our sun, with cities that are already there in place, it's kind of like the 47 of Isaiah, and we're going to look at Jesus here in a second. But wow, very intriguing that would just happen to line up. So is there 40 days? What would be 40 days after? Let's see here. So 40 days after. Let's take a look here for a second. Guys, this is kind of fun and exciting. Isn't it?
So
come on.
We know they're gonna sign the treaty, right? In May?
Woohoo! Treaty in May.
You know what I'm saying?
Woohoo! End of the world, Ma! End of the world! Okay. Woohoo!
Goodness.
All right. Hey, man, might as well celebrate because Jesus is coming back. May 18th is 40 days. So could that be when they're going to push this treaty through? Could it be? On May 18th of all times?
Are there any festivals, like Jewish or Hebrew?
There's a Festivus for the rest of us.
Those times? Because I feel like
it might be Pentecost. So let's take a look. Well, because it kind of roughly is kind of around Pentecost, because Pentecost is 50 days. Yes, it is Pentecost, actually. What?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
You're right. Because 10 days, it's 50 days. Wait, 50 days, 10 days, 50 days, 40 days, 50 days, 50 days. Actually, Pentecost would be maybe another 10 days after that. Would that be right? Because, because you've got the first day of Nisan. Then 10 days later, we have Lamb Selection Day. Then you have 14, 15, you've got Passover. Then you count. It's always the great debate: is when do we count? Do we count at that Sabbath or the following Sabbath? But basically, you bring the wave offering, and boy, I did a lot of videos on that. Go check that out. But very interesting stuff. But you bring the wave offering to the priest, and then you count off. But what you really do is you count off 49 days, or 7 sevens, and that takes place after you put the sickle to the grain. So it really isn't based on when you bring that first offering, although you could argue that it is. Yes, I mean, it is based on the first offering. It's not based on, what I want to say, it's not based on Feast of Unleavened Bread. It's based on the first fruits offering. Well, it's not based on that. It's based on the grain. But when you bring that first fruits offering, then you count the 7 sevens.
Micaiah.
Anyway. Yeah,
So
go ahead.
if the eclipse is April 8th, 40 days would be May 18th.
Yeah.
Pentecost is May 19th, is the following day.
Say what? Man,
And
so it is Pentecost.
I just posted in the chat because I looked up May 18th. It says,
Okay, this is intriguing. Okay, this is intriguing and pleases God our Savior. Okay, let's take a look here. Oh man, this is fun stuff, guys. Okay, let's take a look here.
It says it's the 10th of IR.
I'm looking at two different calendars. This
5784.
one and the Torah calendar, but I want to see something here because they're always moving it up, in the calendar. They're always putting it too early, when things aren't really ripe. And so that we did this last year with the whole Chucky getting crowned and everything. So they're always doing that. They're always playing with that. So so here we are. Let's take a look here. April 8th, Yom Kippur. Oh, wait, what? Am I in the right place? April 24th, the 8th. Yom Kippur Katan. What does that mean? Do anyone know what that means? I don't know what that means. Maybe somebody can look that up because I can't. Won't click on it. But that's the eve of Nisan. Nisan starts there, and then if we go down to Pentecost or Shavuot, they're putting it here at the 12th and the 13th of June. Which that's more what I would have expected based on where you would actually count from. But you're saying that there's a May 19th for Pentecost?
Yes.
Well, let me look at what May 19th says here. May 19th says Parashat and more. Let me see what this is. And then you got second Passover there.
But it's not like the Jewish calendar. I guess it's just the Christian was celebrated on the 19th.
Okay. That's intriguing. Let me go over here. Let's see. So you're saying that Pentecost
2024, May 19th.
Pentecost 2024. Let me see. Oh yeah, May 19th. You're right. That's weird. May 19th, also known as Whit Sunday, will be celebrated May 19th this year. Now, of course, we know that Mr. Mr. Popey, who's very popular, is definitely involved in all this nonsense as well. So, this is obviously set. I'm assuming this is a Catholic Church date that's being pulled out of the hat here. I'm not sure where they're getting this May 19th, but they're basing that on. But that would be 50 days after the eclipse. Wow, that's deep. So what does that mean? These are the deeper thoughts, guys. These are the deeper thoughts. It's too exciting. Okay, so May 19th. Okay, let me look over here. I want to look at the Torah calendar
Pentecost
real
Sunday.
quick.
Catholics celebrate Pentecost Sunday on May 19th.
Wow, Pentecost Sunday. Did you even know there was such a thing? Pentecost Sunday. It's just another Pentecost Sunday. Okay, so May 19th. Doesn't show on that calendar, of course. But let's look at this. I'm curious what this calendar is saying over here. Let's take a look at this one, shall we? Oh, okay. Okay, so this one says... So they have April 6th Yom HaShoah. Oh, no way. That's the same day. So April 8th on this calendar is when they celebrate the Holo of the Cost.
Celebrate.
What are the odds of that? Or commemorate, I should say. Sorry, not celebrate.
Okay.
But forgive my phraseology there. When they remember. Wow, that's Remembrance Day. That's interesting as well. Not to forget that we have IR5 and May 14th also in there as the birthday of Israel. Kind of in the midst there. Let me see what the next calendar does. If we go here.
And then I had found that May 18th, it says it's Jerusalem Day. And it begins at sundown on May 18th. Marks the Hebrew anniversary of the reunification of Jerusalem.
Jerusalem Day. That sounds good. Okay, so we've got Pesach Sheni, like second Passover. Then we have May. Okay, so let me go over there. So just want to see where Passover fell, and then I want to see where IR5 comes into this. I guess that would be here. So say that one more time though. Tandra, what were you saying there?
I put in the chat that May 18th, 2024 says IR 10 5784. And then
IR 10.
I looked up holiday for May 18th in Israel. And I'm not going to pronounce that because I'm going to butcher it. Or Jerusalem Day.
Oh, no way. You get this. Okay, sorry to interrupt you.
You're fine.
But I'm following you. I'm going to May 18th, okay? So May 18th is called Naso, which means take. That's pretty awesome. Like, are we going to get taken on Naso Day? May 18th.
I know it says like
that's the 50 days or the 40 days.
3, but my brain read it as 9 months because I'm dyslexic sometimes.
9 months.
Like in the corner, it says month 3, but then it's a big giant 9, and
like giving birth.
Yeah.
9 months. It's time for delivery. Time to be on the take, to be snatched away, taken away.
Nacho Day.
On Nacho Day. On Naso Day. On Nasal Day. Naso.
Nacho Day.
Naso. That's interesting. Osan. Sano. Own. Son. You can get the word son out of there. A son. That's interesting. Wow. Wow, guys. This is really exciting stuff.
So the one where it's green and it says the 28th says Jerusalem Day on their calendar.
Oh, Yom Yerushalayim?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah, the state holiday. Yeah, the 5th of Iyar.
Yeah, but in Google it said it's May 18th, so now I'm like, okay, so which is it? But they're 10 days apart.
Boy, everybody's playing with the dates here. They look to change the dates. Let me see here. Let me go here. So changing the dates. Let's see. What is it? What were you just saying it was again? Sorry. Got a lot going on in my head.
That's all of us all the time.
help me out here. So you were saying...
I just typed in May 18th, 2024 Hebrew calendar.
Uh-huh. But what did it say it was? What did it say May 18th was?
And then, like,
Independence Day,
how
Jerusalem, right?
It has all those questions, and it's like, people also ask this. It said, what is the holiday on May 18th in Israel? I guess maybe this was that day last year was May 18th.
Yeah, because they're saying it's May 13 and 14 is what they're saying here.
Yeah, so it said Jerusalem Day, which this year, so this was 2023, began at sundown on May 18th. But it's like the conjunction of how all these days keep lining up.
Yeah, together.
Yeah.
Kind of intriguing. Let's see what this one says. Okay, so May 18th. Okay, so this is all very cool, guys. So Parashat Amor. And what was the Parashat Amor again? My Parashat Amor. Say. So you got say. Opens with the laws regulating priestly behavior. Ooh, priestly behavior. So is this when we become priests? Is this when when we get purified to be the priests of the Lord in his temple? Man, this is getting exciting. Regulating priestly behavior. Sock moments will be had working in the Mishkan tabernacle and consuming sacrifice of priestly food. Oh, man. We got the socks. We got the socks. Wow, that's cool, man. So we're on the take. It's like, we're going to get snatched away. We're going to be in our priestly garments. I mean, there's a lot there you could take from that. Okay, so that's May 18th. So again, why are we looking at May 18th? Because that was the 40 days following April 8th, following the eclipse there. So that's why May 18th was so significant. Wow, okay, so that's one we're going to keep watching as we go. Other topics we want to hit on tonight. Anyone?
I think some of this is a big distraction. We'll get to it when we get to the lemons, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, you're really excited about the lemons, huh? Okay. Well, okay, we'll get to the lemons in a second. What other anybody else have any other thoughts? I had a couple I want to share, but if anybody has any, I want to give you a chance to jump in. Well, a couple interesting ones I thought were kind of intriguing, and thank you for all of you who send in links. Please send them in throughout the week. It allows us to do this and kind of get all the ideas accumulated and collated and curated. So if you can send those in, that would be great. And you can put them on our channel here over in the fellowship. We have a SNL channel, Sunday Night Live channel, where you can put topics and you can just post them there, and then we'll use that to bring up here. And you can also come and present them yourself, and you can type them in. And I see, is anybody keeping an eye on the chat? Because I see a lot of stuff going on in the chat over in YouTube. I don't know if anybody wants to read some of those and maybe bring some of those questions. I see looks like something about 1776 here, plus 7 years, 783, 24 years you state, 2024. I don't know. Could somebody maybe check that out and let me know while I'm doing the next ones? That would be great.
Yeah, I was trying to keep an eye, but for some reason it's not letting me do the Discord and the live chat.
Okay, maybe Ori or somebody can help you with that.
Sorry.
That'd be great. Or Louie or somebody. But yeah, if you guys can check that out, that'd be awesome. While I'm doing this, and then bring that question. Okay. So what are we looking at here? So Mr. William of the Shatners has a rebuke for the E to the U who's targeting Star Trek. So what are they targeting here? I found this kind of intriguing because they say the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so we all know the opening of Star Trek, right? So I guess they want to change that. The woke mob is coming in saying, you can't say man. Okay, so I just thought this was kind of funny because I wanted to make a quick biblical point on this because they've gone and they've changed the NIV, for example, from all the man to make it say people or whatever they want to say. But I just want to quickly share with you the fact that and maybe I actually lost this, but Genesis 1 and Genesis 5. Okay, the answer is as simple as that for anybody who doesn't know that, and that is that man is male and female. Just wanted to let you know that, okay, in case anybody didn't know that. They obviously don't know that, but what do they want to change it to? Non-binary entity. Go to search, boldly where no non-binary entity has gone before. But anyway, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. So man is male and female. It says it again in Genesis 5, actually, as well. And it says that he created, is backing it up just a touch there, it says, he made, this is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day when God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. He created them male and female. Man, he did create male and female. And he blessed them and named them man in the day when they were created. And if you look at the word here for man, it's Adam. But the word for male is a different word. And so is the word for female. So man is just to describe mankind, and male and female is how you distinguish what kind of man you were talking about. So just wanted to make that point before we lose all sanity, including into the next galaxy. If there are such things as galaxies. So anyway, just thought that was kind of funny. But and then there was one other one I wanted to point out here. Oh, Jesus, of course. That's the really cool one. Where is it? Okay, so Jesus, his name is Jesus in the Bible. So if you ever kind of wonder, like people arguing over, it's Jesus, it's Yeshua, it's tastes great, it's chocolate, it's peanut butter, you put my chocolate in my peanut butter. So anyway, people argue over the silliest things, don't they? But the reality is, Jesus is actually the name in the Bible. That's right. In the original ancient Greek, his name is Jesus Christos. So if you really want to be accurate to the Bible, that would be the name that you use. In any case, so Jesus, right? But then you say, well, what was he called when he was on the earth? And that's where you get into Yeshua and so forth. As long as you're referring to Jesus, I don't think Jesus is going to have too big of a problem with it. The most important thing is that you follow Jesus. And I'm sure if you call him a name in a language, he does love all people of all nations, all tribes, and all languages. So I'm sure he'll love you right back. So Jesus 2424. Okay, I thought it was kind of intriguing that that's the number of his name. This is 2024. Are they trying to hit home a point here about 24? Like are we missing something here? 2424. Like, what are the odds? First of all, that it's double like that. That it's the year that we're in right now. That it's almost like you like don't miss this 2424. But I also thought it was interesting that if you've got 2 4s in there, and you take 2 and 2, and that's 4, so that's 444. And if you actually take Jesus' name in gematria, it is 444 as well. And if you take Jesus, which is the name there in Strong's, it's 888, which is 444 plus 444. And then if you take what was it, 24 plus 24, right? Go back here for a second. Where was that? 24 plus 24. That is obviously 48. And if you add 48 plus 48, I know it gets a little silly at some point, but it's kind of amazing at the same time too, right? 48 plus 48, you get 96. And if you take Jesus Christ in gematria, you get 906. So I just thought that was kind of cool. Like, whoa, is God trying to tell us something here? With the number, because then you think about Strong's, right? Because people go, "Oh, come on, Strong's." Like, well, we put hope in Strong's, but what's so cool about it is that he just went in alphabetical order back in like 1890 or whenever he did Strong's Concordance, right? This guy named Strong, and he just went through the Bible alphabetically of all the words, and he just numbered them, right? So it wasn't like he thought through, okay, in the year 2024, they're going to be doing a video and talking about Jesus, so I better put 24. He's not thinking this stuff through. He's just numbering alphabetically every word in the Bible. So I thought, wow, what are the odds? 2424 can also be 444, which is gematria, which is times 2 is 888, which is Jesus in gematria, which is, 4 and 24 for 24 is 48, which is 96 and 906. I mean, come on, that's pretty cool. I think that's sort of a sock moment. That's a personal sock moment. Just want to have a moment of sock there, if you don't mind. Just a moment to enjoy the sockiness of that. Thank you.
Well, Micaiah, when you were saying 2424, it reminded me of an old song, and I posted the first line in the chat. And
You're always so cryptic, Gina. I love that about you. I love your crypticness, Gina. I must look at this first line. Now, today, by the way, is 2424 also. So just to throw that in there, so it's kind of the perfect day to bring that up. But let's see, what did you say? In the year 2525, if man is still alive, if woman can survive, they may find. What will they find, Gina?
They will find in the year 35.
Don't be too cryptic now.
Which is 1,000 years. Oh.
Wait, say that again?
So it just says that line, then it says they may find in the year 3535. That's 1,000 years.
Is this from a song, Gina? What is this?
It's a song, yeah. You don't remember the song? Louis, you remember that song, right?
In the year 2525.
I don't know. It sounds like the beginning of Little Shop of Horrors or something where they're like, in the year 20...
Real hippie song.
Or something like...
we know.
It sounds like something out of Soylent Green, the beginning of Soylent Green. They're like, in the year 2022. No, I have no idea, Gina. Will you keep us in suspense any longer?
It's interesting that you guys are talking about 1,000 years because Davide posted Jonah 4:11, which says, "But Nineveh has more than 120,000 people living in spiritual darkness, not to mention all the animals. Shouldn't I feel sorry for such a great city?" And then Genesis 6:3, which said, "Then the Lord said, my spirit shall not forever dwell and strive with man, but for he also is flesh, but his days shall yet be 120 years." And I was like, oh my gosh, that's an amazing find. 120 and 120,000. And I was like, divide 120,000 by 120 is 1,000.
Yeah.
So wait, what was the find though? I got the 120, but what was the 120,000?
Yeah, 120,000 divided by 120 is 1,000. And then I was like, millennial reign, question mark. And then you guys
Right, but what was
are
the
also
120,000? What was that? What were you relating that to? I missed that part.
Sorry, to Jonah 4:11.
Jonah 4:11. Okay. Go ahead.
But Nineveh has more than 120,000 people living in spiritual darkness. Not to mention all the animals. Shouldn't I feel sorry for such a great city?
I'm gonna have to give you a Sakamoma on that one, I think. Okay.
So
that's nice.
Then Makayo, let me tie it together because I don't think you were following. So if we're looking at 24:24 right now, and they're saying 25:25 if a man is still alive, which means where's all the people going next year? If a man is still alive, like meaning, the population is going to be, yeah.
What song are you referring to, by the way?
In the year 20, it was a very popular song called 25:25.
Was that like it's in the 70s? This was the disco era song?
Yeah.
I feel like a disco, kind of a retro space thing going on in the 70s.
Hippie song.
Up there with Ziggy Stardust or something.
Okay, that's your mission. If you choose to accept it, you have to listen to that song.
I accept. I'm going to listen to it after this because now I'm thoroughly intrigued. Okay, so 25:25. Well, what came to mind too was also 25:20 is the prophetic number of days, right? Isn't it 1260 plus 1260? Right?
Yes.
Isn't that 25:20?
Yes.
So that's also kind of got a connection there. And then this is really intriguing too, the whole Nineveh connection with 120,000. You said, like man's years will be 120, which we know times 50 Shemitah cycles is 6,000 years. And so we've talked about that before. In the 70 times 7, as Jesus said, how often do I forgive my brother? No, 70 times 7, because after that forgiveness will end and God will no longer forgive. Then you go to hell at that point. So, there's going to be judgment day after the 1,000 years, of course. But but your fate is written. Your fate is written by that point once they open the books again. So that's also very intriguing too. The 70 times 7, and we've talked about that before. Kind of going all the way back to when they first entered the Promised Land with the Ark of the Covenant. Did you guys get a chance to look at YouTube at all?
YouTube.
Yeah, I'm checking it. I already am.
Doesn't God have to gather the Israelites first to Israel?
The Israelites to Israel.
Yeah.
Well, he has.
That,
I mean,
what's there? That's not the one that God's talking about in the Bible, because He said He's gonna gather them, and it's gonna be peace, and a lion's gonna eat grass and stuff like that, and those people don't even know. Like,
well, that's not gonna happen until there's no gonna be peace in eating grass during the tribulation. Because that's gonna happen afterwards.
Because He has to do it. If man doesn't do it,
yeah, He's going to do it, but it's not going to be. That's going to be the 1,000-year millennium. That will be in Israel. That's when we'll all be gathered to Israel. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay. Well, I can explain it more later, I guess. But but that's the idea. 1,000 years. It'll be all people, all tribes, all languages. Revelation 7 talks about that when we get snatched out during out of and away from the great tribulation, as it says in Revelation 7. Who is this great multitude, right? That no one can count, of all peoples, tribes, and nations and languages. So you do have the 144,000. What's that?
I'm talking about Isaiah. Hasn't he gathered the tribes, to Israel?
Well, you do have the 144,000 of the tribes.
Yeah.
That's kind of a deeper study, but we could look at that.
Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, first we got to have the tribulation part, and then Jesus saves us out of that, out of the tribulation.
Oh.
Again, the timing of when we get snatched in the midst of that still remains to be seen, but it does seem to point to, and I've gone over this and I've done a lot of videos on this, one called The Gathering, just kind of giving the time frames of the rapture, which I actually sent that to you. I don't know if you saw that one yet, but I also have another one that looks at Isaiah 26 and that we get taken up before he brings his wrath on the earth. And then there's another one called Erkomai Ek, where I go over that in greater detail. But so there's sort of a process there where first we have to be, because he's not going to bring his wrath on his kids, right? So first the kids have to be taken out of the way before his wrath. So we're definitely out of here pre-wrath. That's biblical. In terms of the quote unquote tribulation, there's a lot of debate on we're in the tribulation. No, we're not in the tribulation. Well, no, it is. It's like, so okay. So, but as far as the wrath, that's pretty undebatable. That's right in the Bible.
Okay, but you think that what's going on in Israel now, that God did that, put that together, and not United Nations?
Well, it's both. It's both, because God allows the devil to do things. So it's like Job. Did Job punish? Did God do that to Job? Well, he allowed Satan to do it to him, to test him. And he passed the test, and God blessed him more at the end of his life than at the beginning. But he had to go through a lot of struggle, and he didn't do anything to deserve it. So a lot of times people say, "Why am I struggling?" Well, because God wants to teach you something, or wants you to grow in something. It's ultimately for your good. But yeah. Any other topics though that we want to cover before we, or any other, I guess, more simple Bible questions, because that one would take a little bit more time to study that together, which we would certainly do. But any other topics? I know you wanted to mention the lemons, so I'll give you a chance to mention the lemons.
Right now, is this my lemon?
I always
moment?
like the fun ones you bring, Louis.
What?
I always like the fun topics that you bring into the mix. So tell us about the lemons, just for fun.
Okay. Up until maybe 6 months, a year ago, I started noticing that if I brought lemons home in the bag, from the store, a couple of them would turn into a greenish blue, look moldy, and if I grabbed them, they would explode and it would turn into smoke to fill the air. And it's part of what do they call that? It's a mold, but it's a man-made penicillin thing, and it's coming from the pesticides that's on our food. So while they have us thinking about the snake bites and all that,
try to use codes. Remember, use codes, please. Thank you.
I am. Is it snake bites code, right?
Yeah.
Kinda. Okay. While they have us thinking about that thing over here, Dr. F, the Michigan guy, he told us, what do you guys want me to put it in your burger? I'll put it in a hamburger for you if you want. You know what I mean? So they can just put it in eggs. They can put it in. They don't. So we're worried. Meanwhile, while we're worried about taking it, they're just giving it to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's a good point. Actually, that's a really good point, because we know that Mr. Gates of the Hell have bought most of the farmland in America, and so they could already be putting it in, and which delivers most of the fries, I think, to Mickey of the D's. So, for example, so they could, like you said, they could already be putting it in there and on there and around there and through there. And meanwhile, you're over here, I'm not going to take it. But meanwhile, you're taking it. Exactly. They're laughing. They're laughing all the way to your funeral, I guess.
Oh, can I say something more?
Okay,
yes.
Sure.
There was remember a few years ago, there was some things happening with the food and the factories and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it seems like it's starting to happen again.
Okay.
Like recently with some poultry places and things like that. So it's just interesting what they're trying to do with the food.
Yeah, I see all the newscasts about the food like that, but I go to the shopping all the time, and I'm not missing one product on the shelves. I'm not missing anything for there being a shortage and a factory blowing up and one on fire and this and that. Has anybody?
Well, it may not
listened-
hit you yet. It may not have hit you yet either. So, I mean, one train is not going to necessarily derail everything. But if it does something like a toxic chemical that gets in the water supply or something like that, they may have other motives with it.
Wasn't the train that got derailed in Ohio near water?
Yeah, it was like a water, and it was just like that movie that came out around the same time. I did a video on that here as well. But I want to make a comment. Somebody brought up here in the chat. If I can get back to where that comment was. I think it was. She brought up. It was Marilyn. Marilyn brought up that 40 days from February 28th is April 8th, 2024. So it's another day to watch, I guess. So that's the end of the last day of February, last day of the month. There, be 40 days.
One last thing to put on the last topic. Also, while the cop and all that stuff is coming out, they've increased the media by like 3 or 4 times on how bad the vaccines are. They've allowed it to come through.
Hey, don't say that.
I'm
please.
sorry, but they're promoting that they're allowing actually shows to tell us how many people have, how bad it's been, but then they tell us over here they didn't allow that before, so we're being played with information.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Like big time. It's like they're on both sides of the and then we had for the thing, the decision that they're going to make to implement stuff. We had until December 1st to last year that we just passed to petition. Every country had it, and I was writing to every the so-called announcing end of the world stuff news stations to why isn't anybody putting a petition together? No, not one person did. So that I think they're on both sides of the people that are say that they're against it are actually for it, because they're not doing anything to. They should have put a petition together, and we didn't. We lost the. We had a timing, and it ended December 1st.
Yeah.
And nobody did it. Not one country.
People, I don't know what to say. People are kind of giving up in a lot of ways. People aren't really fighting.
We haven't. I still can fight.
That's right. We're fighting the good fight of the faith.
Yeah.
So amen, guys. Well, this has been a great discussion. Any other one last call for YouTube? If anybody has any comments there, or any other comments here that I missed in our chat before we kind of wrap it up on the YouTube side of things, we can keep talking here in the fellowship. If you guys want to come on over and join us, just come on over to MikhailMinistries.com. We'd love to have you. And if you could help support our ministry here through the links in the description, that does help keep us going. And come on over to join us here, because we have things going on every single day. So you don't want to miss any of the things happening here in the fellowship. We do have, like I say, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. discipleship class. So I hope you'll join us for that if you're interested in doing the will of God. And we'd love to help you with that. Any other thoughts? Any other comments? Nothing? Okay.
I just thought it was cool because the gym stuff in YouTube, in the YouTube chat, he was talking about how today is 2/4 of 24.
Yeah.
And you were talking about that's Jesus, so he just made that correlation. So I thought I recognized that too.
Yeah, great point. That's right. So today is 2/4, and then we've of course got. We got a lot coming up here, guys. A lot to stay hopeful and thankful and grateful for. So that's the important thing, that we stay close to God and that we do His will until He returns. Our job isn't to, this is fun to do. It's kind of like Christian entertainment. But what's really important is that we actually live out our lives as disciples of Christ, and we help others come to Christ as well. So if you'd like to do that, please come and join us over on Monday nights, where we help people walk with the Lord, and we'd love to help you as well. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight for this Sunday Night Live. And it's been awesome being with you guys. And thank you for everybody who helped get tonight going. It was very fun to have all these different topics. Some really great topics there. So very cool. So guys, I'm loving you. I'm wishing you all the best and all the blessed.